house is extremely loud, and with this microphone, you can hear everything. They are unusually loud, probably because it's a Sunday, and Sundays are always chaotic because we're kind of cooped up at home. It's cold weather, and they're restless, and they're needing to get outside and expend some energy, but we're about to leave to go to my mom's house. It's midnight. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm going to make a bet here that someone's going to come through this door and disrupt my train of thought. We are closet casting again today, and I probably will be for a long time. But I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to be talking about goals. What I do for the kids for goals, what I do for me. We did some family goals this afternoon. And then the other thing I want to talk about is, how do we keep them? Or do you keep them? I am going to tell you some of my strategies. So first of all, without any further ado, say goodbye to 2023, and let's, in fact, I'm going to say, don't let the door hit you on the way out to 2023. And welcome in 2024 in just a few hours. Today is December 31st, 2023, and I am really looking forward to the new year. I just said in a recent podcast that I am so looking forward to being able to put all of the energy and the dedication and that I've poured into everyone else into myself and into, my own ambitions and desires. Obviously I'm always pouring into my children, but as far as other adults are concerned, it's time for me. It's time for me to focus on what I think that Heavenly Father wants me to do. And I don't think there's any selfishness in saying that. And sometimes I question, am I being selfish? I think a lot of moms do. It's mom guilt. You start to shame yourself for thinking of yourself like it's against the law. So I am going to encourage all mothers out there everywhere to focus on yourself, and that it's okay. It's not selfish, because the happier and the healthier that we are mentally, emotionally, physically, the happier and healthier, obviously, our kids are going to be. So what I do for goals is what my mom did for us when we were little kids. I'll show you right here. By the way, this is being video podcasted as well. The YouTube channel is Julie Jeppson. And so you can see the actual video of the podcast as well as listening to it. So here I have my 1989 folder. I think she was planning to do a new folder for every consecutive year. But as you can see here, she has in small print 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. So she just kept the same folder going forward. But we started it in 1989, and it's just been so fun to see your handwriting evolve over time. So here she would write 5 categories: spiritual, physical, emotional, cultural, and adventure. And we would write those goals. So that was from 89. And then you can see how your handwriting starts to change and evolve. And you can see how it starts to get much, much better over the years. And this was not just one year. This was 1990, 1991, 1992. And it has been so fun every year to look back on these goals and laugh at yourself. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious to see what we used to write. So that's what we did every single year. We always looked forward to it. And it's funny because I think that my mom was ahead of her time, because the church just came out, a couple years ago with the goals for all of the primary age kid and youth: physical, emotional, spiritual, and physical, spiritual, emotional, and what's the other one, you guys? I can't remember. Physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, maybe? I can't even remember. That's bad. But she has been doing this for for 35 years. And then the other thing that she would have us do, you can see how much better my handwriting has become. This is in 2006. Then she would have us do our long-term goals. So those were all kind of short term for the next year following, and these were long term. So if I pull this one out here, this is from 1993, and it says, temple marriage, be a ballerina, go on a mission, go to the U of U. And then I even wrote goals for my man. He has to be buff, funny, gorgeous, coordinated, never gets angry, loves nature and animals, and he's sexy with huge biceps. I don't know how healthy that is, but, and then this is in 1991, be the littlest one in my family. I wanted to be small, be flexible, have a babe to marry. I wanted to have 6 or 4 children. I wanted to go on a mission to Australia or China. I mean, it's just on and on. Hilarious goals. And then you can see my handwriting gets better. That's 2005. Analyze my relationships. Send more thank yous. Make more phone calls. Read more ensigns. Be more optimistic. It's crazy because I didn't even have kids then. It was just me. And it's fun to kind of go back to that. So this is what my mom has done for years. And I have just kind of kept the same tradition with my own kids. So I start really simple with them, and we use this thing. It's like a template. It's called the best year. This is laminated so I can make copies of it, but it says 2 of your favorite memories, 3 things I'm grateful for, 1 hard lesson learned, 1 thing I did this year that I'm proud of, 3 places I want to go, 2 ways I can help others, 1 thing I want to get better at, 2 things I'm looking forward to, and 3 things I want to try. So I just have my kids follow that template, and I did it starting this year with Nico. So I have his folder right here. And then when I open it up, I just wrote it on paper. I didn't even make a copy of the template, but I wrote for 2024 his favorite memories, things that he's grateful for, a hard lesson that he learned, which was handstands, something he was proud of that he did. I went to church. I went potty, drawing pictures, 3 places he wants to go, tumbling, McDonald's, Bear Lake, and St. George. 2 ways he can help others. I can open doors for them and help them play with toys. 1 thing I want to get better at, the doctor. I don't know what that means, but 2 things he looks forward to is going to Bonbon's parties and Bear Lake. And then 3 things he wants to try is Ari's drone, skiing, throwing snowballs, and ice skating. So, and then, I make sure to write their age. And then something else that I love to do is to have them do their first drawing. So this is when he's age 4, and I have him write his name so they can see their handwriting and how that evolves over there, and that's the picture of himself. So the kids love to do it just as much as I did. I follow this template every year, and then it kind of has expanded with my older kids. And then this is my current method of goals. I still do the same kind of thing, but I have also evolved those. And so in 2019, my goals were spiritual, financial. I said for him, for her, for me. No, for him, for them, and for me. So I really wanted to focus on my goals, the goals that I wanted to make as far as in terms of my kids, goals I wanted to make with my husband, and spiritual, financial, and physical goals. So I kind of simplified it, and so this was in 2020, spiritual, financial, for him, for them, physical, for me, and then goals with Mominator. And I don't even know if I did 2021, but I started just doing it kind of simple every year. And then this is for 2023. I don't know if you guys remember, if you're new here, but I broke my wrist, a severe break in November of 2022, actually. And so in January of the new year of 2023, I was like, I can't even write my goals because I can't use my wrist. My fingers don't work. I had nerve damage. You can see the scar here. I have a metal plate right here. That's where the metal plate is. And it's got 9 screws in there. And I lost all the function in my ring finger and pinky all the way down into the hand. It was tingling. It was numb. I had like a crippled hand forever and it was bent. I had to wear braces, and things to straighten my fingers. I just lost all function in my fingers. So I couldn't write. And, I wrote my goals anyway, like I was crippled with my hands anyway. And this is what it looked like. It's like just chicken scratch. It looks like I'm in kindergarten. I could barely write the words because there's a toilet flushing. It's loud in here, even though I'm in the closet. So I'm sure you guys can hear a lot more than I think you can. Hopefully you can't hear the kids screaming, but I couldn't write. And I remember, like, look, on physical, I wrote full range of motion with my wrist, be able to write, lift weights. There's my dog scratching at the door normally again. And now I can do it. So it's just been fascinating to see the progress. Can you hear the scratching? The progress of my hand getting better, and my fingers gaining their mobility again. And so I'm thankful. But it's been fun to see the progress even at 42 years old. I'm like starting to wonder if that's one of my kids scratching. Pause. It was her. She's got to sit in my lap and be touching me wherever I go. Anyway, back to the goals. So now I make my goals a little bit more in categories: physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, relational. Goals for, well, it was for him, but I've crossed that one off. For me, for them, and then maybe business goals. So I'll be doing business goals for Greedy Mamas, for this podcast. And then I did family goals as well. So this is what my 2024 will look like. I haven't filled it out yet, but I am about to. And as far as family goals, I just had a family meeting with my kids, and I said, okay, this is what our family goals are this year. You want to know what the first one was? First and foremost, I said, we are going to wear deodorant every single day. They're growing, they're getting bigger, they're getting smellier. I said, we're going to make our beds every single day. Some of them just still struggle making their beds. I said, we are going to have family prayer every morning. We are going to have a Sunday lesson every Sunday. We are going to pick things up when we see them on the floor. We are going to be on time to places. I said, we're going to shower more often. And we are going to have less screen time. So, it doesn't have to be anything like, oh, we're going to, I don't even know. It doesn't have to be super specific. Like, Monday through Friday, we're going to, from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., read our scriptures. I needed to be realistic with 8 kids. I said we're going to have family scripture study every morning, and that might mean it's for 30 seconds, but we are going to do it. And then I will just put that up somewhere so that it's visible, which brings me to my next topic. Do we actually keep these goals? It's loud. And there's crying. So I wrote 2 things down. Number 1, keep it accessible. And number 2, make it visible. Because I'll be honest, I write these down, I put them in the folder, and then I put them away for the year. And there may be some things that I remember, but for the most part, I don't remember what I wrote. And I just like to see what it said the next year when really I didn't do any of the goals. So my advice to you, my advice to myself, is to make it visible and then make it accessible if you don't want it like hanging around in your house or in front of a mirror or in the bathroom or even, where you spend most of your time. Make it accessible so you can be reminded of what those goals are. I am very goal-oriented. I'm to-do list oriented. I'm detail oriented. I like seeing myself, like many of you, cross the item off of your to-do list. I like to see that I did it. And I am one of those people that if I didn't even write it on the to-do list, sometimes, like if I forgot, this kind of sounds a little obsessive, but every now and then I do it. If I did something, but I had forgotten to write it on my to-do list, I've gone as far as even writing it on my list to be able to cross it off, just because it makes me feel like I've accomplished something and I'm productive. So if you are goal-driven, I am encouraging you, along with myself, to keep it accessible so you can grab it out and, because out of sight, out of mind. So you can see it, you can visualize it, you can keep it on the forefront of your mind to then accomplish it throughout the year. So those are some of the things that we do with my family. And as I was a child growing up, we categorized it into spiritual, physical, emotional, cultural, even adventurous. And as I've gotten older, it's evolved into financial, what kind of mom I want to be with my kids, what kind of business I want to run. And even this podcast is going to become a goal. I know it's kind of not, it's unorthodox sitting here in my closet and it's loud, but if I wait for the perfect time to podcast, it's never going to happen. So as always, I like to bring it to you raw. I'm sitting in the closet all by not by myself. I'm with this little one, my puppy, and I've got kids that are putting their fingers underneath the doors, and it's very loud. Toilets are flushing, movies are playing, kids are screaming, and I am sorry. It's probably very distracting, but doing the best I can over here. Go ahead and leave a review, leave me a rating. I am brand new at this, and I'm going to continue to get better and better, and hopefully get some good feedback from all of you of other things that I can talk about and share. I plan to talk to each of my kids and interview them, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope that your new year is going to be one for the books. I hope that you make goals. I hope you achieve them and remember them and think about them, make them visible to you or accessible so that you can accomplish what you've set out to do. One thing I learned from my coach at Shield Maiden was to do what you say you're going to do. Do what is required, and make it happen. He'd always say, ship it, which meant do it. Like, just send it. Get it done, whether you are ready or not. If you don't have the logo, who cares? If you don't have the website, go forward anyway. If you don't have the recording studio or the installation and all the stuff for a podcast, oh well. So here I am in all of my unprofessional glory. But anyway, just wanted to thank you for your support. Give me a review, and we'll see you next time. It's the Julie Jeppson Podcast. Peace.